Hello, welcome back to our YouTube channel. We're here with Dmitri again in episode 2 based on spiders. Dmitri, once again, thank you for allowing us to do this. If you just introduce yourself and your interest in spiders, please.
My name is Dmitri Logunov. I'm in charge of entomology collections at the Manchester Museum. As a researcher, I've been studying spiders for almost 30 years. I collected them a lot in various places. I described many new species, and I've been developing spider collection at the Manchester Museum as well.
And where is it your interest comes from when it comes to spiders?
It started as a student time. I was a second year student, and it was about time to go for the field trip. And during this field trip, our tutor noticed my interest in collecting spiders. I tried to identify them, but I could not. And then he mentioned this to our professor, who was a spider specialist, and he talked to me, encouraging me to do research. And then from the third year onwards, I've been studying spiders myself.
I remember I was like that in Borneo and Brazil. My interest in wasps really started to stick out. And that's how university really starts, doesn't it? You start as a very general thing, and then that's when you start narrowing your field of interest.
Yes, absolutely. When I became a university student, before that, I had been interested in insects in general. I collected beetles, and I was sure that I would be studying weevils. But when I became a student, of course, education and various courses widened my horizon, so I understood that area is much bigger than just weevils. And so I found lots of interesting topics, objects, and spiders became one of my main research objects for during life.
And in regards to the collection here, what's the status of the collection in regards to spiders in Manchester Museum?
With regard to spiders, we are also on the third position, maybe even on the second in the UK, after Natural History Museum in London and Oxford Natural History University Museum. And our collection numbers about 200,000 specimens plus, and it's been developed. And it's highly scientifically important as well, because many new species are described on the basis of our specimens, and we actively collect, and we get donations and bequests, so collection is actively developed.
And would you say they're a very diverse group then, given that
it's a very diverse group? Of course, it cannot be compared to some groups like beetles, where we have about 350,000 species described to date. But even comparative to beetles, spiders represent a very diverse group of organisms with about 65,000 species described worldwide today. And this is not the end. Trust me, every year people continue to add hundreds and hundreds new species.
And with that huge diversity, I imagine there's a great key in their importance of roles in ecosystem services and habitats and food web as well, I can imagine.
Yeah, so you can, wood web-wise, of course, spiders represent predator group for the microworld, for the world of bugs. They do exactly the same role as wolves, lynx, and other predators do in the mammal and bird world. So they do the same for the microworld, for the world of bugs. So they are top predators of their world, and even their names suggest they do similar jobs. There are wolf spiders, there are jumping spiders, there are lynx spiders, and so on.
And do you know where the term spider comes from, where it originates from? Because it's something I've always wondered, because the name shark originates from ancient Greek.
To be honest, I don't know what spider could be. No.
And in terms of spider diversity in the UK, how many species do we have in the UK?
UK fauna is relatively modest. There are about 656 or something like that species recorded to date. There are every year, or maybe every few years, few species are added. Most probably when early identification were incorrect, or certain collections were done in a very poorly studied areas. There are no dangerous species, so I can assure our audience that there are no dangerous species in the UK. And the majority of them, about 2/3 of the British fauna, is represented by so-called money spiders, tiny creatures living in grass and moss and soil in leaf litter, being about 2-3 millimeter long. So we are talking about 250 or more species.
And obviously with our channel, the aim is to not only promote the collection in this video series that we're doing, but also to talk about endangered species as well and conservation. And I can't help noticing you've got a couple of ladybird spiders there as well.
Yeah, regarding endangered species, of course, the problem is that spiders, as well as insects, are less known with regards to their conservation status, because in many cases you cannot protect particular species because we don't know so enough about its biology. You need to protect habitat, and habitat loss seems to be the main cause of reducing diversity of spiders and insects as well. However, there are two species which have a particular conservation status in the UK. One of them is, of course, ladybird spider. Yeah, it's a male. It's a small one, usually brightly colored, having a red background with black dots. This is why it's called ladybird. Females of this species are 2 or 3 times larger. It's a clear example of sexual size dimorphism, and females are not so brightly colored. They usually have a dark brown, grayish color. That's it. And they live in a very, very recluse style. Females spend all their life in a burrow. They dig a burrow which is lined with a silk. Female produce, and females never goes out. It comes out around the entrance during nighttime in order to catch beetles. Beetles represent their main diet, but males are more active, especially during mating season. So it's a tiny creature. This is a male. Females are about 3 times bigger, and they have a very, very restricted distribution. I think this is the main problem in this species. So we need to protect areas where they occur, otherwise the species will go. Another species having very serious problems is a ruffed spider, Dolomedus plantaris, which is known only from 2 or 3 locations in the UK. And again, habitat loss was the main cause of the reduction in numbers, because they live on the fen or on the fens on swamp areas which were drained. Actually, and now there are only very few places, actually in Norfolk, in southeast England, where this species still occurs.
And in regards to the other species that you've got, are any of us endangered, or is it just those 2 that you've got right now?
So these 2 are the main problem, or better studied cases. So we know enough about them, and we know what should be done in order to protect them. For other species, I'm not sure. There is another species of ruffed spider, Dolomedus fimbriatus, which is more common, but it's still restricted to only swampy areas, and therefore none of these species actually tolerate a strong human impact. So we need to make sure that they stay where they are, and habitat is maintained in a way as it is now, allowing species to live there.
Okay. And we do have a question from someone that they wanted to pass along. In regards to spiders, what do you think distinguishes them the most compared to other groups of insects or invertebrates?
First of all, there are 3 main characteristics of spiders which make a creature spider. First of all is the venom. They're all venomous, except for one group of spiders. They all have poison glands, because they're predators. They use venom to kill and subdue their prey. So this is one feature, or they're all venomous. Second feature, all spiders use silk. So they have spinnerets, and they use silk for many different purposes, as drag lines and catching snares, resting chambers, breed chambers, egg cocoons, and so on and so forth. So the presence of spinnerets and the ability to produce silk is the second most important feature of spiders. And the third feature, which may sound a bit strange, they usually do not use primary copulatory organs for copulation. Males have secondary copulatory organs, which are developed at the end of their pedipalps, in front of their eyes, basically. So this makes spiders unique in many ways, and the presence of secondary copulatory organs is the third most important feature of spiders as a group in general.
Right. That's great. Thank you for that, Dmitri.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Check out the next episode that's coming up. It'll be on wasps. Thank you.